Hello, everybody. Another last minute announcement. So I'm glad you made it. Please say hello, and we'll give this a couple seconds here. Let some more people come on board. But please say hello and where you're from. And today we'll talk about 3 stages of launching your own bookkeeping business and the pitfalls of a couple of them. All right. So let's give it a couple minutes. Please say hello and that you can hear me. So I'm not just talking to myself. I hope everyone's having a good morning. Please introduce. So we're going to talk about these stages, and then we'll do a Q&A. So if you have any questions, you can type them in. Good morning, and I'll come back to them after I get done with my little spiel. Okay. All right. So the 3 stages of launching your own bookkeeping business. This really applies to any business, launching any business, but we're talking about bookkeeping. So uh, there's 3 stages: the research stage, the planning stage, and then the execution stage. And now, let's talk about the first two, and then because they kind of relate to each other. And there's a big problem with I hear this all the time, and that people get stuck at doing one of these things. You can easily get stuck in phase one. So stage one, research. If you're watching this right now, you're basically researching. I'm assuming you're researching. You're figuring out, especially with everything that's going on right now. Jobs where you can make good money working from home, working from anywhere. Uh, Everybody's starting to really see the importance of that. And a bookkeeping business is perfect for that. You can work from anywhere as long as you have internet access, just a laptop and internet access. So this is an excellent profession to be in. But you might be looking around for different types of things that you can get into to make money. This industry, you don't have to spend years and a lot of money getting up to speed before you can start making money. You can start making money really the first month that you're in it, and the cost to get in is very inexpensive. Like I said, you really just need a laptop or any computer and internet access. Everything else, unless you take, say, like my program, there's no other expenses. So good morning, everybody. So the research phase is probably what you're doing now. You're looking around the internet, thinking about different ways that you can make money, how you can start your own business, work for yourself, not worry about getting laid off, losing your job, all that stuff. Something that you can make money no matter what's going on in the world. So that's the research phase. You're looking around, what's out there, what could you potentially do, what may you like. That's very important, and can give you a lot of freedoms in life for working for yourself. So that's the research phase. Now, I see people all the time getting stuck in this phase, and they get stuck in stage 2 as well. So I keep saying phase and stage, but they're interchangeable. So the research stage, people get stuck in. They look around. What should I do? They never ever really land on something. So let's say you are able to, you research everything. Okay, bookkeeping business is something that I'm interested in. Now, the next thing you need to do is have a plan. Now, this is another stage where people get stuck. They plan. I see it all the time. People think that they need to know everything before they start. They need to know everything about QuickBooks before they start. They have to have everything dialed in so perfectly before they start. And the reality is, 1, you don't have to do that. 2, you're wasting time where you could be already getting clients and making some money. And And the reality is you cannot have everything perfect before you start. Um, I always say do it, then improve it, do it again, improve it again, and on and on and on. And I've been doing that for 20 years. If you saw my setup back when I began, you'd get a big laugh because I used to have, um, even on my, because I came from corporate, I did 3 years as a staff accountant. I said I'd never do something like that again. So I was sort of went the other way. I was so anti the man. Even when you call, it's like if a potential client called me, even my answering machine had Jimi Hendrix playing in the background. So like I just was going to live my life the way I moved out to California and did it my way. And it was very wrong in a lot of ways, but also it was very right in a lot of ways because I was living my life, I was having fun. I didn't have a child at the time, so I was able to kind of be that irresponsible. But the point I'm trying to make is that you don't have to have everything perfect. You don't have to have that perfect plan. You don't spend a lot of time in the planning stage because you can start and it doesn't have to be perfect and you don't have to have that perfect business look and structure. The better the more you do, the better you start. You obviously starting at a better point, but I'm a perfect example. I started with nothing and I did everything pretty much backwards and I just learned along the way. Change this. You literally have 20, 30 different things going on when you start your own business, from the answer machine music that you have playing to it. There's so many things that over time you just better this one, and if you're working on your craft every day, there's always something to do. There's always something to make better. You can learn something that you didn't know before. You can improve the look of something. You work on your website. All kinds of stuff. So the point is stage two is the planning stage. You don't want to get hung up in that forever. And we all know you may be like that, and we all know people like that where they have to have so much information. They're information gatherers. They just gather, and then they never pull the trigger on anything and never get going. So it's really important to stage one, research what you want to do. Once you think you know what you want to do, go down that road. Do a little bit of planning. Like the Bookkeeping Life course gives you everything you need. That's all the planning you need. We've already done all the planning for that. And then you can get into stage three, which is the execution of the plan. So, and that one speaks for itself. That means you've made a decision what direction you want to go down in life, or as a part-time job, something like that. You got a plan. You have a plan in place. I'm gonna follow the Bookkeeping Life program or something else, and then you execute it. You actually pull the trigger on it. You do it. You start doing the steps that, like if it was Bookkeeping Life, what's the direction that we give you. So. Those are the three stages. It's very simple, and this is a very simple and not a long topic, so we can start chit-chatting. But I just wanted to say, because I see this almost daily in our private Facebook group, and also just emails that I get, that people are really, really caught. They get caught in stage one and stage two in the research that they're looking, or they want to do bookkeeping, but they're planning too much. They're just planning. They're planning for things that they haven't even they have no idea what they're planning for, because they haven't gotten that far yet. I always tell people you're putting the cart before the horse. Like, don't worry about any of that, because you'll be able to figure all that out when you get there. You're not even there yet. So how do you even know what it looks like? You're planning for something that you don't even know what it looks like. So you just have to take the step, leap of faith, and bring your determination to make it happen, and you will. So research, but don't over-research. Plan, don't over-plan. And then execute that plan, and then better it over time. Do it, then improve it. Do it, then improve it. All right? So that's my preaching this morning. Not a long spiel, but hopefully that helps some people that are in that rut. You have to just take the step. No one's going to take it for you, and no one along the way is going to push you into it. So you have to just realize where you're at, what stage you're in. If you're in the research stage, figure something out, make a plan. If you're in that planning stage and have been planning for a long time, that's too long. So Sylvie says, yes, definitely stuck on the planning stage. Yep. How long have you been on that in that planning stage? So Melissa, you do not need to, you don't have to have an EIN number or an LLC or entity to start. You are, just by starting anything, if you grabbed a camera and just went out and took some pictures and people gave you money for that, that's a business that you just started. Same thing with bookkeeping. You can just start. You do not have to have a formal setup. That can come later. You do not need an EIN. It's a sole proprietor is just a Schedule C on your personal tax return. So let's say you get into it and it's starting to work. You would have a Schedule C on your personal tax return that just runs off your Social Security number. Now, eventually, I would say yes. Look at these things and get an EIN number. That way, even if you didn't form a different entity type, I would still get an EIN number eventually. You don't have to in the beginning, because if somebody wanted to 1099 you for your services, you're putting an EIN number on that form instead of your Social Security number. And that's really the only reason I would say if you're a sole proprietor, it's good to get that EIN number, just so you're not giving out your Social Security number. But you don't have to do that to start. So Sylvie, you bought the program about a month ago, and I'm about finishing the QuickBooks courses. Excellent. Keep at it. Yep. Execute. Yep. Learn as you go. I have another video. After this, you can look on the channel. It's called Just-in-Time Learning. And it's all about how you don't need to know everything right now. You can learn as you go. So you know enough to get to the next checkpoint, and then you have to look something up or research, ask the private Facebook group something, get answers from somebody, and then that allows you to go to the next step, and then until you've hit something else that you don't know, and then you learn. And I still do that to this day. It's just as you gain an experience, the gaps between not knowing something just get further, which is nice, but it's always that way. And if you do, like me, having done taxes for so long, there's always researching that goes on when it comes to taxes, because you don't see everything every day. If I don't see something once a year, I pretty much my brain lets it go, so I have to relearn it. So Christine asks, is Intuit QuickBooks a good way to start? Yes, I think it's an excellent. And my program, Bookkeeping Life, does teach the QuickBooks Online. It comes with the QuickBooks Online course, and I highly recommend QuickBooks. And QuickBooks Online for Accountant is free. We talk about that in the program. But so that's just another one of the no-brainers, because the cost to start a bookkeeping business is so low, and the rewards can be so great. And it's quick too. Like I said, you don't have to spend a bunch of time learning the craft and then do an internship or something crazy like that. Get all kinds of degrees and stuff. You don't have to have any of that. You don't even have to have a high school diploma. There's no requirements in the United States to do bookkeeping. So let's see what else we have here. So yeah, QuickBooks is the most used, especially in the United States, bookkeeping software. But if you don't have QuickBooks Online experience and you're thinking about my program, there's one of the programs that includes an excellent 7 hours worth of really good training that has real world problems, and you have to calculate the numbers, and they have to come out to what the instructor has, and so it's really good training. So Melissa, you're stuck in the planning. I feel like I need a website. No, you don't. I know a website. Okay, so I do believe in really good branding. I believe really good branding plus effective. So professional branding and effective advertising doesn't mean expensive. It doesn't even mean it costs. Equals clients. So part of what you say I agree with, that you need a website. And we have that at Bookkeeping Life too. Let me give you guys the link to that so you can see what we offer. But we're basically a one-stop shop. So the website, yes, you do not need to have a certificate. You should learn QuickBooks, and you don't have to overlearn that though before you get into it, because you can learn that as you go too. But you should, if you don't know QuickBooks at all, our program that has the QuickBooks Online course is excellent for that. It's just 7 hours, but I mean it's a really jam-packed 7 hours. So you're ready to go for your first client after you're done with that course. But you don't have to be QBO advanced and zero certification, because that first client you get, you can gear. You can pick your first client. You're going to have people contacting you, and if it's not a good fit, it's overly complicated, I would say you should start simple and build up a simple client base first. You can always get more complicated after that. But I kind of did it semi backwards, like most things I did when I started, is that I got this complicated restaurant. I was in over my head, losing sleep over it. And there's a lot of pros that come out of that too, because it really makes you step up to the plate. But there's an easier way. There's an easier road, which is you choose the clients that you can turn away clients. You don't. It's your business. You get to be choosy about what clients you want to work with. So choose the easy ones, like service-based companies. Just really small companies in service-based. They're not big clients. So you don't need to learn all that stuff before you even get going. The first thing you need to do is get a client. I mean, you get these few things in place and get a client, because it's when you get that client, that's when you really start to learn. So Sylvie's asking, once I finish with the QB training, what do you recommend my next step be? Well, you're in my program, so it's clearly laid out. You have to get your branding in place if it's not already, and then start advertising, start getting out there, networking, all that good stuff, all the stuff that's in my program. So you can shoot me an email to steve@bookkeepinglife.com, any of you, and I'm happy to take any questions after this, or if you missed the live. So anybody have any questions about anything? I hope everyone's starting to get some freedoms back in their lives with the lockdown. Things are starting to open up here in California. Like I said, it's not a very heavy topic. There's not a whole lot to it, but I do see that it does cause a lot of people to get hung up. And so anything that's keeping people from starting and doing well and making extra money in their life is not a good thing. So I always want to address it. How can you provide bookkeeping to Shopify, Amazon clients? So people, I'm assuming you mean people that sell on Shopify and Amazon. If that's your target audience, it's all about your branding and marketing to those clients. it's all branding and advertising or marketing, however you want to say it. But so you have to brand accordingly. If that's the clients that you want, brand accordingly and then advertise accordingly. And there's different ways to advertise. All right, so you guys email me if you have any questions. Probably wrap this up quick today. It's a short one today. But like I said, it's a quick and easy lesson. It's a lesson in life. Steve, what are some of the best service-based clients to look for? Just like uh, like yard maintenance, maybe pool cleaners. Um, people like try to think of anybody that you'd hire to come out at your house. Maybe a plumber. Those types of industries are usually small in the amount of people that there are. They're not complex. They may have a vehicle and some tools, and they get called up and they go on site to do something. So service based companies. There's I wouldn't say some are better than others though. So it's a simple business structure, and their habits are very consistent. There may not be a lot of transactions per month. Um, they probably don't have, you know, 5 banks and 5 credit cards, that kind of thing. So um, just keep it simple in the beginning. We call it in Bookkeeping Life. We call that level 1 bookkeeping. It's just kind of our term that we've named that kind of client where it's just easy. You're just really taking the information that hits their banks and credit cards and putting it into QuickBooks, reconciling. So it's good to start off with those because then you're not in over your head. You're sort of learning all the foundational type stuff, and you can always get more complicated after that if you want to. Cool. All right. Like I said, email me, Steve at bookkeepinglife.com if you have any questions. And again, the website has all our programs on it to help you guys get out of stage 1 or stage 2. Time to start executing, right? Execute the plan. You've researched it. You're researching it by watching this. You're planning it. Hopefully, don't overplan and execute. And I'm here to help. Okay. Have a good day, everybody.